Everybody thinks that learning Chinese is impossible, but I proved them wrong because I've learned it when I was 17 years old, still in high school. Then I've chose to go to university in China, in Shanghai, and I've learned my major, which is politics, completely in Chinese, with Chinese classmates. After that, I've worked in China, and after that, I've left China, I went to Dubai, I've been to Budapest, and I've worked for Chinese companies. I've been speaking Chinese for 8 years now, because I've learned it when I was 17, now I'm 25. And I'm even teaching it now here on YouTube, on Instagram with 55,000 followers, and on TikTok with 90,000 followers. So I believe I can tell you that Chinese is not this impossible thing, and I will explain you why Chinese is actually easier than you think. If you have ever learned Spanish, French, or maybe even Italian, you might have found out that it's so easy to start learning these languages. Why is it? Because they don't have tones and because they don't have characters like Chinese. But then, if you have reached the intermediate level in this kind of languages, you might have found out how difficult it is to go from intermediate to actually fluent, or from intermediate to advanced. Why is it? Because obviously these languages have very complicated grammar system. Whereas if you learn Chinese, you will find out that at the beginning it's such a nightmare. It's very, very difficult because you enter in a language that you have never seen anything like similar before, unless you have learned Japanese. It's gonna be everything new to you. For example, if you say a word in a certain way and you pronounce it with different tone, it's gonna change the meaning. So, ma is different from ma, okay? So same pronunciation but different tones. To not talk about endless characters that they have in the Chinese language. But what's going to happen after you pass this initial stage with Chinese? You will find out that this language is actually easier than you think, because Chinese grammar is very, very easy. Chinese grammar is actually easier than Spanish grammar, than English grammar, than whichever grammar you want. So basically, learning Chinese is very difficult at the beginning, but then after like a few months of you learning Chinese, it's just going to drop like this for how easy it's gonna be. In English, you have got verb conjugations. So if you say, I go, for the future it's gonna be I will go, and for the past it's gonna be I went. So this little word, it changes based on the, let's say, the past, the present, and the future. The good thing is that in Chinese is not like that. The word doesn't change its form. And by the way, guys, if you already know a bunch of words in Chinese, but you don't know how to put them together and start speaking Chinese, you can check out my ebook. I created this ebook with 100 Chinese phrases for beginners. These phrases, you can use them daily with your Chinese friends and you can start speaking Chinese right away. So check it out, I will leave you the link in the description. Another thing is that in Chinese, you don't have genders and plurals, and these are things that you're going to find in many languages. So if anybody is going to talk about their friend, like, oh, you know, my friend has done this or that, you're not gonna know whether they are a girl or a guy unless you ask. And I will tell you something. If you learn, for example, Japanese, then the grammar structure is gonna be more complicated, because in English you are quite familiarized with subject plus verb plus object. In Japanese, it's gonna be subject plus object plus verb. Instead, in Chinese, it's just like English. So we have first the subject, then the verb, and then the object. Obviously, like if you add the time, if you add the place, the order, it's gonna be a little bit different, but still, Chinese people, they speak quite like English people when it comes to grammar. And now you will ask me, Alessia, but what about characters? They're so difficult to learn. And I will tell you, listen, they are difficult, but they are not impossible, because if you put in the work and if you put in the time, like if you are consistent basically with them, you will find out a logic in them. So, as I told you at the beginning, they might look like drawings and they don't make any sense for you. But I will tell you something. After you're going to memorize around 100 characters, you will see that in order to learn a new character, you don't have to write it down 100 times. You will just look at it and you will assume that in context this might be the meaning of this character. So let's say I know like 6,000 characters. It's not like I've learned 6,000 characters one by one, writing them down 100 times per character. No, absolutely not. It doesn't work that way. You learn a bunch of characters first, not just a bunch, maybe like 100, 200, 300, and you will see that there is a logic behind them, and you will recognize characters and their meanings after you know many of them. And now you will be like, yes, Alessia, but you know, there are tones in Chinese. They are very, very difficult. If I say when, it means warm. If I say when, it means to ask. And I will tell you something. Let's say today you start learning Chinese and in 6 months you're gonna be fluent and your tones are not gonna be 100% correct. It's just fine. Chinese people can still understand you. However, you still need to learn those tones. You have to try your best to learn them well. And then let's say you're saying one sentence and you get 2 or 3 tones wrong, it's fine. Chinese people will understand you. If you get all of them wrong, then the situation changes. So why Chinese feels hard at first? Because the way that you're learning Chinese might be wrong, okay? Sometimes we have to review the methods that we are using and we should revisit them and we should ask ourselves, like, is this a good method that I'm using? Or am I just wasting my time? You have to ask yourself this question because you might be wasting your time and you not even know. And like when sometimes you use the wrong methods, you're gonna get discouraged and you're just going to give up on it. So ask yourself, why am I still stuck at the beginning stage? Why am I not improving my Chinese? You ask yourself this question, you give yourself an answer, and you might be able to find the problem and to solve it. And now, if you want to know how I learned Chinese in 8 months, 8 years ago, you must watch this video here, and I'll see you there. Bye bye!